Just think about it. When you go to your grandma's house, do you still speak like that? No? Oh, okay.
Oh my, time heals all, but you out of time now. Judge gotta watch us from the clock tower. Little tear gas cleared the whole place out. I'll be back with the hazmat for the next round. We was trying to protest and the fires broke out. Look out for the secret agents, they be planted in the crowd. Set a civil unrest, but you sleep so sound like you don't hear the screams when we catching beat down. Staying quiet when they killing you, but you speak loud when we ride. Got opinions coming from a place of privilege, sicker than the COVID. How they did them on the ground. Speaking of the COVID, is it still going around? Won't you tell me about the looting? What's that really all about? Cause they throw away black lives like paper towels plus unemployment rate. What, 40 million now? Killed a man in broad day. Might never see a trial. We just wanna break chains like slaves in the South. Started in the North End, but we in the downtown. Riot cops try to block, now we got a showdown.
Hey y'all, welcome to page 2 of Diary of a Mad Black Scholar. This is your host, Ruby, speaking. My pronouns are she, they.
This is your co-host, Shiasia Beasley, speaking.
Ooh, government name.
Yeah. Okay, and my pronouns are they, them.
Yeah, to give y'all some context, we live together. That's why sometimes we be sounding like we're tired of each other, because we are.
Okay. Well, dang, give them the behind the scenes on that.
I'm just saying, you know, this is our second take. You know why? Because Asia's cat.
Stop giving
decided,
them the tea.
Asia's cat decided that she wanted to be a human today and open the door. Creaky door, first of all. Just the whole time, bruh. Like 3 times too. I tried to keep going, but it didn't work. So this is the second take.
Sorry, everybody.
Page 2, part 2. So today we're talking about AAVE and code switching. AAVE, if y'all don't know, because I feel like it's kind of a big topic. I feel like a lot of people are talking about it, well, more people than before. AAVE is African American Vernacular English. Back in the day, in the 90s, the folks was calling it Ebonics. According to dictionary.com, I know I'm trifling for using that source, but I'm in college. According to dictionary.com, it is a designation used by linguists to describe a North American dialect of English used by some black people. So basically, it's just a dialect. Like how there are different dialects of Spanish, there's a different dialect mostly specific to black people in the U.S.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, growing up, I feel like there was a lot of emphasis on the way I spoke. And, like, ain't a word. That used to make me mad. Bruh, the whole, like...
The way I used to say water.
Bruh.
I'd say water to people, so I started saying water. I would like a glass of water.
Water.
Like,
Ooh.
it feels robotic in my mouth, it doesn't feel natural.
Yeah. I feel like growing up, and I didn't grow up, like, in a predominantly, like, white area, but it wasn't a lot of black folk either. So the way I spoke was, like, made fun of, besides the fact that I also have a speech impediment. But besides that, those two things coupled together made me look dumb. Like, people thought I was stupid.
No, I get you, dude. I get you.
It's hard out here, truly. Yeah. I feel like AAVE now has become sort of, a lot of people think of it as slang. Like, it's not as much of an exclusive thing to, like, specifically to Gen Z. Like, I think Gen Z, we all universally use, like, that type of language. Even though, like, when I go home, I speak to my parents like that. I don't know about none of these white folk out here. I don't know if y'all be saying finna and,
They talk to their friends like that. I've heard it. We've heard it.
Yes. But it don't even sound right. Anyways, besides that.
It's dry. Where's the flavor?
Please.
I'm sorry.
I feel like and this is probably going to be like a whole other like topic that we get into later. But the idea that AAVE has kind of like lost its meaning to like Black culture, because like to us as Black people, obviously like the reason why we speak like that, speak improper, is because slavery.
I mean, what else could he say?
Take it all the way back. Yeah, like all the way, you know, if you trace it all the way back to slavery, and if you like look back at like how songs are written, and you know, like how white people spoke, like when we weren't allowed educations, and now that there's like an emphasis on speaking properly, it's kind of like now we're all held to that standard. Yeah. But we still like have those traces like from all the way back of just the way that like our ancestors spoke.
That just sounds tiring. Like,
it is.
Why do they keep on making it so like, no, we have to be as proper as possible. Let's keep on making convoluted rules for language. I learned all about it in like this English class, and I was just like, I can't just say it like this, a blunt. I can say it in one sentence, and you want me to, one, take away a lot of the words that you could use. For example, don't say and, but, blah, 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 stuff like that, just so it can be an academic writing or something like that. And I'm just like, okay. Same message, but okay.
Please. I feel like it's just a mess. I think now it's a mess because every time I think about AAVE, it's like I think of the kombucha girl. Okay. And how, or like the concept of like a black scent, first of all, like the concept of having a black scent and like what a black scent is. Because like a black scent, and I think a black scent also not only speaks to like the words that people are using, but also how their voice sounds. Because like people always say that like Ariana Grande has a black scent, or like yeah, right, or like people that, I don't know, people that like phrase their words differently, and they also just try to like speak deeper. Because I feel like,
no, I get what you. Okay, I'm sorry. Specifically, Billie Eilish. I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
I have to bring her up. No, I feel like the way she looks and then the way she speaks, it sounds like her throat hurts a little.
Please.
It does. That's about it, really. Like, I get what you're saying with like a deepening look, because we're not going to talk about it, but she's been called out.
Please. I'm dead. But I feel like, anyways, back to my point. I was thinking about like Brittany Broski and how, the kombucha girl, and how she was talking about, somebody had asked her why she speaks in a black scent, and she was like, that's just how I, like, that's just stan culture, like that's just Twitter stan language, like that's how like people on Twitter speak, like that's meme language. And it really made me like think, because she thought that was true, like that was her truth.
Yeah. That's rough. And I don't know if this is taking us off subject. We're still talking about AAVE. Okay. But just to be quick about it, it's just like, once again, they're taking a very crucial part of black culture, which is language communication. Of course, that's like one of the big ones. And they're turning it into pop culture. Yeah. Yeah, that was like, because that, in her head, that was true. In her head, that like, well, it's because she didn't research it any further than that. Also, like, you're not critically thinking about the media that you consume. That part. Because if you truly look at the memes that are coming out and the jokes that are like happening and like being circulated on the internet and like around just like us as like the generation that we are, that a lot of them come from black culture. Or black Twitter is what we call. But like a lot of it comes from like black culture. Like, a lot of people attribute Nene Leakes to saying child, like starting child. You know what that is? Heck no. Nene Leakes? Real Housewives of Atlanta. I didn't watch that. The girl with the short blonde wig? Okay. I briefly have seen her. I don't watch reality TV or... What that got to do with you being black? You black and you ain't seen Real Housewives of Atlanta? I've seen like an episode. I don't like it. It's revoke the black card. First of all. Okay, you can't do that while we're talking about AAVE. No, I can. Because you haven't seen Real Housewives of Atlanta. Your mom doesn't watch it? My mom goes to church.
So does my mom. And she still watches it.
My mom don't like mess. She don't like mess.
What do you mean? Will she go to church, though? Black churches be messy.
Child. We're getting off topic.
I'm just saying.
Stop outing me.
I'm just saying.
Well,
anyways.
this is a safe place.
Anyways. A lot of people attribute Nene Leakes to child. The use of the word child. Mm-hmm. Like, woo child. Or like, woo child the ghetto. You know?
Don't say it.
I'm just saying that, like, a lot of people attribute that to her, but that was a thing before her. Yeah. Like, no one... That's when it got brought into pop culture, because it was funny to people. And but, like, also the reason why it was brought into pop culture was because she was on a TV show that focused around housewives, and these are Black housewives. Mm-hmm. When was the last time you, like, if you really think about, like, Black housewives, it doesn't happen because Black women have always had to work. So, like, the idea of, like, a Black housewife that also attracted, like, just, like, a lot of Black people, too, but it was also on Bravo. Yes, Bravo will do it to you. It was on Bravo, and it was produced by white people, and it was distributed to white people. Yeah. And so, like, she got like a lot of like recognition, and like she gained like a lot of fame from how she acted, and like people thought that was like a persona, and that wasn't. That's who she was, and like there are people that genuinely act like her and speak like her, and so. And the thing about it is that, like, that also just makes me mad thinking about it, because Real Housewives of Atlanta has been on for so many years, mm-hmm. and people within, like, the last maybe 3 or 4 years have been like, oh, like, woo child, or like, ooh, like, that came from Nene Leakes, or like this meme with Nene in it, and stuff like that. And it's like, the fact that it took a while for Real Housewives of Atlanta to even, like, get to where it is. Mm-hmm. To like reach reach white eyes, and now all of a sudden it's sacred
land for a little bit. You know, we got to enjoy it, and then you get the woo child from Kombucha Girl. Yes,
like the whole it just, and a lot of people like a lot of white people that use that type of language don't understand the repercussions that Black people have to face for using their own language. Yeah, like. I don't know, like, when I hear a white person say, like, cap, or, like, finna, or, like, ooh, bet, like, stuff like that. There's a certain
emphasis to it that doesn't sound right when you say it, because I remember hearing that friend of a friend, mm-hmm. and he was like, cap. And something about the way he enunciated.
No, and the reason why is because you don't speak like that. Like, you didn't grow up like that. You don't know how to properly say that. That's just
ripping your tongue to say that, my G.
No, yeah, like the thing of, because it's a different language. Mm-hmm. Like, there are a lot of people that there are people that literally will not understand what you're saying. Mm-hmm. Like, how I speak to my mom is completely different than how I speak to, like, my white friends. Yeah. Because my white friends will not understand what I'm saying. And there have been times where I will be on the phone with my mom and they'll be like, who is that? That is not Ruby.
I'm not gonna lie to you. When I first heard the woo child thing from the Kombucha Girl, because I think I briefly saw the video. Like you said, it's a different language, and you know how you can tell when someone is using a word wrong, mm-hmm. or something.
Like, where it didn't sound like it's not familiar in their mouth.
One, mm-hmm. It didn't sound familiar in her mouth, but also it just didn't. The context, it wasn't there. Like, she just used a new vocabulary.
Yeah, well, that's also randomly. Just like the same context. Like, it's like the same concept of like, being able to tell a native Spanish speaker from somebody who is fluent in Spanish. Like someone who learned Spanish and mm-hmm. is fluent. You know.
I love that.
Yeah, like a lot of people don't think it's an entire language, even though we structure our sentences differently. And yeah, like the Senate, like our sentences are structured differently, and like a lot of people, now it's a common thing to like know what we're saying, mm-hmm. but there are people from like older generations that I will speak to and they will not know what I'm saying.
Oh, like Black people?
No, white people. Okay. Like older white people will be like, huh?
Because I was going to be like, there's no way that there's, like, an obscurity of, like, since we have to learn, like, the proper way of speaking, mm-hmm. like, we can't talk to our older counterparts, you know, like, I get what you mean.
Yeah, no, like, if I'm speaking to my grandma, she knows what I'm saying.
Sometimes I still gotta break down what my grandma says. And that's the fun of it for me, but, like, I don't want to decode what a white old person is saying.
Please.
You know? Like, I feel like there's a different kind of enthusiasm when you meet these different vernaculars.
Please. I feel like... like, a lot of, like, what I'm trying to say is the common use of AAVE honestly goes back to, and it's not even like the common use and the ignorance coupled with it. Like you don't know where you're getting your media from.
That, and also you don't understand the privilege that you carry by being able to, like,
say
use
what
that.
You want to say. Yeah.
Because like you mentioned in the pre-cut, like, if you were to talk with AAVE in some specific situation, you would possibly risk the event of being viewed as maybe less smart.
Yeah.
Or aggressive, especially with the way you choose to traverse that by just being blunt and just putting your answer out. I can see what you meant by, like, people will still perceive you in a certain way, even if you do have, like, the pre-conversations in your head of, like, AAVE, I have to code switch in this class.
Yeah.
I'm surrounded by a whole bunch of white people. So, like, I get what you mean.
A lot of us, that's, like, I don't know. I feel like some of the anger, like, the anger, like, frustration that comes from me hearing white people use AAVE is the fact that I know that there are black people who cannot use their language. And there are black people on campus who cannot speak the way that they want to speak or the way that they feel comfortable speaking.
Yeah.
Because, like, I know, and I don't code switch a lot.
Yeah, you're very much proud.
I'm very blunt, and people have told me that.
I'm working on getting like that because there's this supposed, like, theory of, like, if you lessen the amount of choices you have, you, like, relieve, like, mental fatigue. So I'm trying to, like, implement the whole thing of, like, it's okay for me to just be and talk without having to have these notions and these thoughts in the back of my head, like, this pretext before I even act. Like, I'm not saying I'm trying to be white, or I just want to be comfortable.
Yeah. I feel like, I mean, I don't code switch a lot because of just, like, you know, where I came from.
Yeah.
So, like, I didn't grow up in, like, a really white area, but my dad is, like, who my dad is. And so, like, I feel like the reason why I make the decision to not switch up how I speak, like, in academic settings and, like, when I'm having, like, intellectual conversations because of who my dad is. And my dad is, like, very much, like, hood. Like, from the hood, like, people are, like, really scared of him when they see him. Just a big black scary man. You know? Yeah. Like, people cross the street when they see him both black and white. And so, like, I grew up, like, seeing him have intellectual conversations with his professors and with his peers, like, from school, and he did not change how he spoke. Like, he did not change his inflection or the phrasing that he used. He just incorporated the scholarly knowledge that he knew into his daily, like vernacular, you know? And growing up seeing someone being so unapologetic about, like, how they speak. And, like, how they speak and how he, even though, like, when he's walking around, people, like, automatically have an assumption about him, and then he surprises them consistently. Yeah. Like, he garners respect from a lot of people because of just, like, the intellectual that he is.
I'm trying to be like that, bro. Please. No, because the way I grew up, this is just how I perceived it. It could be totally different. But it just seemed like the thing you don't talk about, like, that difference. I don't feel like I had, like, that kind of role model who was intelligent. It was more like, oh, my mom is being creative in this way that we live. Because we didn't live that well off at the start, you know. The army helped. And then I started being, like, I'll say upper mid class, and then I started to be in, like, these white environments. So then I would, like, I'm too white to be black and too black to be white. Yeah. You know? So I don't feel like I had the opportunity to have, like, that
Yeah.
level of confidence. And I'm learning that now, which is just, like, it's okay for me to just talk. And if it sounds weird to white people, then maybe, just maybe, I'm using AAVE. I don't know. Yeah. It's just a weird thing to have to think about.
So, like, that's why I speak the way that I speak when I'm, like, trying to get my point across to people.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that, like, when I go places and when I try to have intellectual conversations with, like, white people, I know that they're going to try to, like, belittle me, and they're going to try to, like, act like I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I will still stand my ground and be like, no, I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, there was a saying I heard a little bit ago, or it's not even a saying, really. I just grew up with people being like, if they can't say it without, like, cursing or doing, like, this weird thing, then it kind of, like, you know, denotes what they're saying.
Yeah. Oh my God, I hated that.
Yeah, and I was just like, so you're essentially, it's like you need to talk proper is how I can take it in this situation. It's just like that takes off the flavor.
Well, I feel like
it takes
like that, because I remember hearing that, like, if you can't say this without cussing, then you don't need to be saying it, or like it something, like, people would say it to, like, kind of belittle people and like try to try to make them seem like they're not intellectual. And this is like, again, this is me drawing from experiences of literally watching my dad have entire conversations with his sociology professor using profanity, just so much profanity, and still getting his point across.
Yeah,
like that, like, hearing that and looking back on it, it's, a lot of people don't know it, but it's that phrase is, like, rooted in racism, because like, you're putting value into how people speak, and, like, the fact that they're, like, they need to speak properly for them to be just, like, respected and, like, heard. And not a lot of people, and that in order to speak properly and in order to, like, write properly, you need to have the proper education. And we were not afforded the proper education.
And even if we were afforded the proper education, once again, it's provided through the white mainstream.
Yes.
So it's not very beneficial for a black person to be in this education system.
Yes. Like the whole thing about like because I remember in middle school people like teachers being like, "Oh, if you can't, like, you need to stop cussing. Like, cussing just, like, makes you sound stupid." And I'm sitting there looking at them like, "Bro, my dad is a whole sociologist, and he." What do you mean?
I'm not gonna lie. When I first came to college, I didn't curse. I didn't, and then I started to.
Now look at you.
And now I'm going back to not doing it simply because now I've tried it. It feels more like something that isn't, like, taboo, and it feels more like it's more expressive. It's kind of like the exclamation point in a conversation, and I feel like I have enough confidence now to not have to demand to be heard.
Yeah,
like,
well,
just hear me.
There's this whole thing again that my dad taught me about, like, cuss words, and he's always like, there's no such thing as bad words, just, like, appropriate times to use those words.
Yeah.
So there are times where you probably shouldn't say certain words in certain circumstances.
Say a job interview.
Yeah, like a job, like, and even then, the concept of, like, professionalism, we can get into that another podcast, because that's racist too. Anyway.
That part.
Ooh. Anyways. But, like, there are times where you could still have a conversation and get your point across, and even using those words can help you get your point across even more, because we have words for a reason.
Yeah.
Like, we have those words for a reason. Like, you needing to, like, cuss to get that little oomph of, like, what, like, the emphasis of what you're saying to someone, like, is better than you having to say, like, 6 more words.
Yeah, like I told you, I grew up reading dictionaries, and I thought the bigger the word, you know, the stronger the I don't know, just the way it'll be received. And I just, like, why? I just feel like that adds to, like, the convoluted culture of, like, in order for you to be heard, understood, listened to, you need to gain a higher level of education or something like that. And at the same time, that's I feel like that's iffy simply because that higher level was specifically made to create like a division between people. So yeah, that's just, it's not too great.
It's just a mess.
It's all a mess.
All a mess. But actually getting into that, I don't know if like this is a thing that happens to you, but if sometimes I'll be in class and like one of my white peers will like say something in discussion and cuss. And it's like, and then it's like, it's received, like, and it's received well. And it makes me wonder, like, if I would have said that same thing, would it have been received the same way?
Yeah, it feels like I don't know.
Because that stuff happens at UNCA.
When I'm in that environment, it's just like, oh my God, like, no word. But at the same time, like, we're all adults here. But then at the same time, again, there's like the like, other, I shouldn't have to curse to say something here. So it feels like there's like a...
I feel like for me, it makes me like self-aware of like who I am. Because like if somebody says, like somebody like curses and like when they're trying to get their point across, and I'm like, I wonder if I would have said that same thing, would that be received as me being angry?
That's a whole nother episode.
Yes, but like that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes like you have to just like, I don't know. When that stuff happens, I think about it a lot because I'm like, I wonder if I really would have cursed trying to get my point across if they would have even received it, or if or somebody would have challenged what I said. Mm-hmm. You know,
because then they would have been like, don't you think you're being a bit too harsh with this, blah blah blah? Don't you think that's a bit of a strong way to put it?
And that's just also like just coupled with like being black.
Yeah,
like being black, like in academic settings, you have to kind of like be in the middle a lot of the times, and like you have to be stern in like how you feel and what you say and like your point of view on certain things, but also you can't be too stern because then people are going to be like, ooh, aggression, like you're being aggressive, like, oh my, like, why are you angry, why are you mad, you're mad. Like you get into a heated conversation.
I remember and then you were having that
please.
Okay, another thing about like AAVE, you know, when you speak, you have like a certain tone or just how you you say words and how you hold conversation. And that you had that interaction with that dude and you were like, okay, he's talking over me. The rational thought is like, I'm not going to talk to this person anymore. Mm-hmm. And you know, anybody would think that. And when you said it as clear as day, and you weren't mad. You were just making a statement like, oh, you're talking over me. I'm not going to hold this conversation anymore. You were setting a boundary as well, which is healthy. And he said, oh, you're mad. You're mad. No, you don't hold the conversation because you're mad. How are you going to tell me what I'm feeling? Like,
and that's what I'm talking about. Like, standing your ground in certain discussions and, like, debates and stuff is, like, if you, like, truly are like, no, like, I'm not going to let you disrespect me. Like, because being black and you're having a conversation with somebody, especially, like, in, like, you're talking about, like, society or just, like, you know, like, academic things, people like to speak over you.
Because they want to be heard.
They just like to speak over
They
you.
want to be heard and they expect to be heard.
Yes, and like they expect me to like back down. And so like when you don't, then it's why are you mad? I was just trying to say my point.
But you were also yelling over my words. So
right,
you didn't hear my point.
Right.
You know, the way a conversation works is you're supposed to like let someone talk, you listen. Mm-hmm. Hopefully you listen. Mm-hmm. Instead of constantly thinking about what you're thinking about, because you know you have to be an active listener. You listen, you form opinions, thoughts about what they said, and then you respond, and then you add your part.
And that also connects to code switching. The reason why you code switch is to avoid those interactions.
Yeah.
The reason why people code switch is to make other people comfortable in the space that they are sharing with them.
Yeah, and I'm not seeing a lot of our white peers doing that. I feel like code switching is something that's strongly done by the minority.
Yeah, well, yeah, like it's just because at the end of the day, the most received form of like conversation and like English is like the way that white people speak, proper. You know, like proper.
I Can I speak freely?
Speak freely. Go ahead.
You remember when we were just
Oh,
talking?
hell. What you about to say?
No. Okay, so if you listen to the pilot, you'll know how I talk. But English back in the day wasn't even that good. It wasn't. They would like you know how when you look at an old document as a student and you see like there are some pieces of like how we would talk that are missing, or someone has to put parentheses in there to correct it, to put like an E beside the word.
But it wasn't
the.
even. Y'all know. Wait, I get what you're talking about. Like old English was not that good.
It wasn't good, and the fact that they were just like, yes, we're the best, baby. I don't know what kind of grammar you guys had. If you were just, if this was just someone like who secondhand wrote down your words, and you know they might have missed something, but you guys are talking like you can't talk out of one of the sides of your mouth.
Stop.
Like you're like the back of your
Asia.
like your brain isn't allowing you to finish what you're saying.
Asia.
I'm sorry, but like basic words. And I understand, you know, some people might not be able to talk proper. You know, this isn't about ableism or anything like that, you know. I'm just saying, looking back and taking today's modern world context, the people don't look too smart. And they weren't making smart decisions either.
Please. No, like I know what you're talking about because I didn't even think about that. Like reading Shakespeare, huh? What did you
like
say?
I told you, it's bringing a lot of convoluted words in. Like they were all just talking to sound. They wanted to make sure that they were the smartest person. Sounded like they were the smartest person in the room. And I promise, it just made them look like tryhards.
Yeah.
Now I'm looking back, they look like tryhards.
No, well, that's just like looking like you have to think about also and this is like gonna go back to what we learn like in school, like in public school.
Yeah.
Like when you look back, what like the only Black author I can think of right now that we ever read.
Douglas.
No.
I only
Toni
know.
Morrison. And it was only the one book, and guess what that book was?
What?
Beloved. Exactly.
The only one I know about is Frederick Douglass. I don't think we even got to know who.
And Beloved wasn't even required. It wasn't required. It was a choice.
Like the teacher chose to put it on.
No, like it was like I was in honors classes because I'm smart, even though I speak wrong.
It's not
I'm
wrong.
still smart. But I was in honors classes, and so we had these like. There like came a point in the year when there were like 3 book options that were given, and you had to pick a book, read it, and then write a report on it.
Yeah.
And so, was it a report? I think it was a report, if I'm not mistaken. And so, one of the books was Beloved. I chose not to read it because why would I ever do that to myself?
Yeah. No, I get you.
Yeah, no. I mean, I still ended up having to read it. I still ended up having to read it in college. I didn't read it. But like going back, like the way that Toni Morrison wrote those wrote that book and like the way that she wrote was like very specific to like how we speak. And and like reading that book in that context, you think, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
In the slave context.
Yo, where did you first learn code switching?
Code switching?
Because, you know, okay, I vividly remember. It was like first English class. We read something. We were asked to, you know, put our thoughts out there. I gave my answer. My teacher said, yeah, that's not right. That's not right at all. And I was just like, but you told us to give our opinions.
Please!
And I gave my opinion, but I think I also used AAVE in that moment as well.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's just,
like,
that's what we're talking about when we say when you don't code switch, you risk not being taken seriously.
And it's like, I still felt like I never put anything on the paper that was, like, crappy or, like, oh, I'm gonna joke about this and try to be, like, the class clown. Like, no, I actually really enjoyed the concept of learning at the time, but then again, I was an art kid, so of course I only listened as much as I could.
Period.
But yeah, when I tried to give my opinions and actually like give my thoughts and write as me, I was told I was wrong.
Please.
Which I think is crazy.
I feel like, I don't know, looking back, I vividly remember the ain't isn't a word thing.
Yeah.
And like, but also that's just being from Jacksonville, North Carolina. Mm-hmm. So there's just like a lot of country folk there as well.
Yeah.
But that, and I remember one time I said like IB or something to a teacher, and she was like, "What is that? What are you saying to me?" And I was like, you know damn well what I'm saying. I was so upset. Like,
the one that I think everyone knows is like that snobbish teacher. It's just like, "Can I go to the bathroom?" And they're like, "Did you mean may I or can you?" Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like if we all wanted to connect for like 1 second on this podcast, you know, white peers and all,
we know
there's that. Yes. There's that thing that we
like,
can all
that's
share.
What that one thing that made you mad. That kind of stuff happens to us all the time.
Yes.
About how we speak entirely.
Just in general, like, you know, you can't say anything without having like that little creaky, wrinkly finger in your mind, and it's just like, is that really how you say that? Mm-hmm. That's just our everyday.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I can't.
So yeah.
I feel like I can't think of like any other instances where I was like, I probably need to like switch up how I speak. But then again, I sometimes I had like a job interview.
Oh yeah, I unconsciously do that.
I do it, and now, even though now I've found myself not like falling into like that. Mm-hmm. Then again, I didn't really need to code switch when I was in like middle school and like elementary school and high school, because everyone knew who I was and they knew that I was not going to switch up how I spoke to anybody.
That also, I feel like, I mean, how much can you truly express yourself in the school system, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I get you.
Yeah, like then again though, my grades showed that I knew what I was talking about. Like, my grades showed that, like, if it was time for a debate, I was going to murder you in a Socratic seminar. And it did not matter how I said it, because I said it, and you're wrong.
Yeah.
So, like, that, I know, like, now, and that, like, that also just, like, being in a small town and like growing up in like that type of environment where people know who I am and know how I am.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to switch it up, and I set the precedent a while ago that I don't care. Like I set the precedent that I don't care and I'm smart. Don't do me. And coming to college is like, it's not the same thing. Like, coming to college is like, the classes you're taking and the grades that you have aren't common knowledge.
Yeah.
And your personality is also not common knowledge. Mm-hmm. And so with that, I know that I take the risk every day of not being taken seriously or like being seen as a lesser than when I open my mouth and say, I don't know how I feel about that.
Ruby, all my life I've had to fight.
Bruh.
For anyone who doesn't know, that's a Color Purple reference.
We was gonna keep it. We was just gonna keep it for us. I promise you, you said that and some white person said, Kendrick Lamar.
No, don't tell me that.
Do you know what that's from? It's in a Kendrick Lamar song.
I keep myself out of all things that are popular.
Please. Oh my gosh.
Because people stan these people and they don't know anything about them. And then when the cancel culture kicks in, when they find out that one thing.
Okay, hold up, wait a minute.
I don't know any of these people.
Since you mentioned cancel culture, this has to be a whole other episode.
Yeah.
Cancel culture is not real.
It's
not real. It's not real.
It's just people holding people accountable for terrible things they're doing.
Oh my God.
It's not a thing that just recently, like, over time, people finally got fed up. No. people were fed up probably when it was happening,
Bruh.
and their voices were silenced. And now that everyone is just like holding people accountable, like, wow, you really listened to this person and that did this, this, and this, you're a terrible person. Now they're holding these people that they're following accountable. And I think that that's just something that should be common.
I talk about this a lot. Okay, I will talk somebody's ear off about this. Who? I remember when I was a senior in high school, and I was sitting there and I was like, cancel culture ain't real.
And the people were trying to prove you wrong.
No, I was to myself. Like, I was really like, this is the summer after senior year. I was sitting there like, what cancel culture? What is this? And then I realized, okay, I know some people might disagree with me about the fact that people think that cancel culture is real. And here's my thing about this is, where did the term cancel come from? Black Twitter. Anyways.
Whoa, don't tell me that.
Anyways, like, we can really get into the force that is Black Twitter. And if you don't know what Black Twitter is not, I can't explain it. If you're not on it, then you're not on it. But like,
I just recently got on it, if I have to be honest.
So like, you know how you can get on like the weird side of YouTube, or like you can get onto like the weird side of a Google search. You can get on the black side of Twitter. And the black side of Twitter is like so many like niche jokes. And like there are so many like generational like phrasings that you need to you need to be part of it to understand it truly.
I just need to follow more Black people because I have art Twitter. That's all I have right now.
Well, yeah, it takes time. It takes a lot of time because back in the day I wasn't. That's just like being on straight TikTok. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, it's like the same thing. It's the same thing. Like when you start off, you're on straight TikTok, and then you cultivate it. So you have to like cultivate your timeline. You know. But anyways, so cancel culture. What is it? Like, why do you think cancel culture is real? First of all, why do you think that you could ever actually cancel somebody?
What do you
think nobody can be canceled. First. Nobody can be canceled. People can be held accountable. They're still making money. Daniel Caesar is still making money. Okay, like all these people that are canceled are not canceled. They're being held accountable for being racist or being homophobic or being transphobic or being ableist, like or being pedophiles. Sorry, trigger warning. But like sorry. But like that to me, why? And this is cancel culture has now, like the term cancel culture has now become an actual thing that people think is real. Yeah, and
they can bring it up in like
yes,
like when I don't know, banter. I don't. Yes. I can't.
But this is not like these conversations about cancel culture being bad are coming from people who have never had to be held accountable for anything. Like the fact that like these older generations being like cancel culture is real. The reason why you think it's a bit like the reason why you're like, oh, cancel culture is so prominent and people are getting canceled left and right and nobody can say anything. Is because everybody has a phone. Everybody has a phone. Twitter is free.
Yep.
Twitter is free. Instagram is free. YouTube is free. Back in the day, that was not possible. Mm-hmm. People were still racist back in the day, and people still didn't like it. We just had no way of expressing that. Yeah. So now that marginalized communities have a voice and we are all on the same platform, everyone, politicians, celebrities, everybody is on the same platform. Everybody can see your comment. What?
Politicians on social
media. We can get into that later.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Well, I have a whole thing about politicians having social media because, like, politicians not having social media means that only a certain group of people will have access to that information. Because
your mass comm is coming out.
Please. Well, I'm just saying that, like, and then again, that just comes to, like, a politician as like who they are, and like if they really care about what they're doing, they will handle their platform responsibly. Mm-hmm. And that's just their like social responsibility, to give out proper information when you're in that role. And people being like politicians don't have social media is saying that a certain group of people that don't have access to cable, or a certain group of people that like can't go to rallies, or like or probably, like, you know, just don't have access to the certain traditional forms of media that, like, they don't deserve to, like, know what this politician is saying.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, I understand that.
You know,
we'll
because, like,
as a separate thing.
if Trump didn't have Twitter, a lot of people wouldn't know that Trump is trash.
Or be able to hold him accountable.
Exactly.
Because, whoa.
Exactly. Like,
what was his PR team?
That part. Like, I don't know. Like, a lot of, and just... What is cancel culture?
Yeah, like, cancel culture. Like, how do you describe that? Because at that point, I feel like they're like, oh, this is cancel culture, simply because they're noticing that there's a consistent process of, like, oh, these people liked this person before, now they're finding out, they're not being, I guess, lenient, since, again, vocabulary not there, and now they're being snowflakes. Yeah. Because they can't handle what this person did. Oh, they hurt your feelings, blah blah blah, and now they're fussing and throwing hissy fit on every single bit of social media, and now this person is supposedly canceled. But like you said, they're still getting money.
Yeah, like, nobody can truly be canceled. Like, Tommy Lauren, not canceled.
You can boycott them. Is that something you
can
do?
But even then, what is even boycotting? Like, boycotting is
not giving them your own money.
Yeah, I know, but boycotting is not possible anymore.
True.
It's not possible to
money
boycott
is still
everything. Well, also, just, like, back in the day, you could boycott, everything was fine. We've come at it, like, we're at a stage in capitalism where sometimes you can't survive without something.
Yeah.
Like, you can't boycott Walmart because there are food deserts. And Walmart might just be your only source of food.
Yeah.
Like, they're just, like, these are, like, they're like, corporations have become bigger. And, like, sometimes you just, like, can't escape stuff.
We
and,
also
like,
have become more reliant. But that's like, a completely different
episode. Yeah, but also, like,
for me.
we become reliant because we had to become reliant, though.
Yeah, facts, because they don't allow us to own our own land and blah, blah. But, you know, we shouldn't get into that. Yeah, that can be another episode. But I'm just saying, because, like, sometimes I'm just like, wow, I'm actually being, like, I'm, like, livestock, like, domesticated type beat, because I can't go out into the woods and know how to take care of myself, build my own shelter. I don't know how to, like, clothe myself if I can't afford this. Like, I would have to live off people's scraps. Capitalism. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying going to Goodwill is bad, because I do that on the regular, but I mean, some people would like, you know, people want nice things. Mm-hmm. And when you can't afford to get that, or at least be able to make it for yourself, you know, DIY, love that. You start to see, like, a stark difference, and also, like, just a new perspective to everything. I don't know. This is me speaking as a slightly poor individual.
Not slightly poor.
Well, you know, college ain't cheap.
College is not cheap. Lord Jesus.
I feel like we went off, but yeah, cancel culture, it don't exist. Yeah. Back to AAVE, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to like say that even though this has to be a whole other podcast about cancel culture, because cancel culture, like, the term, like the like term, or like whatever you think cancel culture is, like, came from marginalized communities holding people accountable, holding public figures accountable for what they did to hurt them. And, like, that also plays into the fact that a lot of the time people are like, oh, they're being emotional or their feelings are hurt. Yes, my feelings are hurt. Yeah. They are. And what about it? Feelings are allowed to be hurt when you attack somebody's personhood.
Do you feel like there's, like, a boundary in language in those situations too? Because, for example, if I was mad at a specific organization or a politician, there we go, and I was trying to send, like, this angry message to them, I would be lost in the garbage of oh, this is just an overly emotional individual. Mm-hmm. But, like, for example, when we had a movement, people would be like, use this template and send it to them, and then it'll be attended to.
That's a flaw. That's a flaw in society, and the fact that we don't value emotions.
That part, cause then, like, oh, you're emotional. You've made, like, a fool of yourself. You won't be taken seriously.
Yeah, like, if you hurt somebody, say, for instance, and this is drawing from actual experience.
Okay.
Someone saying, rap is not a real genre.
Oh no, I remember this. Go ahead.
Okay. And me and you both know that's racist.
Yes, that is very much racist.
And other people might not realize how that is racist.
It's a microaggression. Let's just call it that.
It is. I mean,
a lot of people know what a microaggression is, I hope.
No.
Okay.
Child.
Okay.
Anyways.
Okay.
Please.
Move on.
But I remember when that conversation happened, the way that I reacted initially was emotional.
Were you belligerent? As the white folks say.
No, like, I remember being told, like, why are you mad? And it's like, people are allowed to be mad when their culture has been attacked. Mm-hmm. Because that's a part of who I am.
Also, it's just human.
And just to specify, people not taking rap seriously, I want you to please write some bars. And then spit them, please.
We can't even... I just want to say the one thing that we say every time we think about this person, but I feel like that would out them.
No, stop, please.
So I'm not going to say
please.
It, but like...
I don't know. Like, the whole... We can talk about music. We can have, like, a special guest come on about music or whatever. Talk about that.
And then don't forget, I guess it comes from a point of one privilege and then the obscurity of pop culture. A lot of music is inspired by minorities, black artists, minorities, whatever you want to say. It's inspired by people who actually have culture.
Yes. And also, if you really want to get into it, going back to language, probably the reason why a lot of people don't think that rap is an actual genre is because of the way in which it is, like, the way in which the words are delivered and the words that are being said. Because it's not proper English.
Yeah.
It's AAVE.
I feel like AAVE definitely is a big cultural thing because I'm not gonna lie, like a whole bunch of like these slang things or the, like you said, stand culture stuff. A lot of what's being said is essentially like music in the way that it's remixing big cultural events that happen in the black community. Mm-hmm. So I'm just having that little moment of connection, like, wow, like it actually is like a big part of culture. Like, you know, you go through your daily life, you don't realize how big that is. And like I told you before the episode, like, I know about AAVE, I know why it's wrong that some white people use it, but at the same time, personal connection. It's really tough for me to make a lot of personal connections due to just personal reasons. But yeah, it's really hitting me like, yeah, it's a freaking culture, man.
Yeah.
It's also like deep. It's deeply ingrained in us.
Like, having the validation of the way that I speak is a dialect.
That feels so good. I feel seen.
Yes.
I feel so seen.
And this is literally, and a lot of people probably won't even like be like, whatever. Like, it's just how you speak, but it's a dialect. A lot of people do not understand what we're saying.
I think I only realized it was a dialect, or like I only saw academically it being acknowledged as a dialect was when I came to college. Because before it was still like, oh, I can't say spigot or mo control.
Mo control.
Mo control.
Mo control.
Don't say it again, please. I'm still getting used to saying these things and like hearing them because again, it somewhat feels foreign simply because in the environments outside of my home, which is where I am majority of the time now, because, you know, I ain't a little kid no more.
Please.
It sounds foreign to the ear, but at the same time, it sounds familiar and comfortable. Mm-hmm. There's a warmth to it. Not like the cold, cynical language you hear when you're outside. No, because it's just, again, where's the flavor?
Not where's the flavor.
No, I'm not saying that, like, a whole lot of conversations are boring, because, like, there's some people who I talk to on campus and we have like really cool academic conversations, or like, I'm not gonna lie, it could be boosting my ego a bit, but when they listen to me speak, I love that, because like they'll be nodding and I'm like, heck yeah, finally someone's like listening to me.
I feel like that's like sometimes, like, why do we have to why do you have to separate academia from regular
exactly,
like regular how we speak, you know?
I'm not gonna lie, I grew up with that thing, and I'm gonna simply say, like, for example, you guys like to watch Jeopardy.
Jeopardy hits.
Okay,
what are you talking about?
No, I'm not saying it's bad. It's just I can't connect with like a lifestyle where people are like, I just know trivia.
Well,
no one shows
also,
like that level of intellect.
like,
it's just like real world problems, church.
Okay, but you're talking about
food.
you guys. This is me and Azani. Both of our fathers are just like super black power.
You're right.
Like they made sure we came out educated.
Again, and I grew up in the country. I've never shot a gun for the reasons that other people have shot a gun.
But you
no,
shot a gun
we
before.
shoot into the woods just to be country crazy.
Oh no,
we don't
Y'all
do
are
it because like,
country.
oh, we're black, we need to know how to
forgot you're
protect
from
ourselves.
Newburgh.
I'm a retirement place, it's a retirement town with a whole bunch of country people who ride like 4-wheelers and stuff. So that's why I'm saying I didn't have like that person.
Yeah,
who
you
was,
didn't
like,
have
like intellectual black person, but we weren't like stupid. Like we
you
knew
didn't
how to like jerry rig is what you like to call
jerry
it.
rig.
We know how to jerry rig.
like-
We know how to like. We had like, what is it called? Like street smarts. We had street smarts. We weren't
smarts.
stupid.
Okay, John Mulaney.
I don't like you.
See, I know the white people stuff too.
I mean,
We love John Mulaney.
yeah.
Oh, he's getting divorced. Did you know that?
No, I don't know
He
nothing
deleted
about. I
all
only
his tweets.
I
Bruh.
only know
He
the
went to
things that-
rehab. Child. Anyways,
Yeah,
that's a whole
spilling
other.
a whole lot of tea right now.
It's not tea. Everybody knows it.
I told you I don't care about anything
You
that's
don't care
not in
about
my
John Mulaney?
sphere. I don't listen to him. The only thing I know about him is the skit where he's like, look at that high-waisted man. He's wearing high-waisted shorts or whatever, I don't know. Oh, he's got feminine hips. I'm sorry.
No, bro, John Mulaney, this is way off topic. John Mulaney did this whole, I watched one of his specials on Netflix, and he was talking about how when he graduated from college, and they sent him, like, a letter that was, like, donate money, and he was like, what happened to the money I already gave you?
That is relatable.
I relate to it. I'm just like, bro, I swear to God, when I get that piece of mail, I'm about to be like, for what? Why? Please.
Yo, let's get back on topic.
Please. Anyways.
Now we just going into the obscurity of like how we talk to each other.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Please. Anyways, so like, getting back to what you were saying about like how you were raised and like how like I feel like a lot of that is just like there are so many different types of black families.
Yeah, I was
And
very
there are
saturated
so many
in that.
different types of black people, but we can still relate. First of all,
Yeah,
because we have the same experiences,
yeah,
just like different upbringings, and then just having like it just depends on like where where your parents are from, and the content of like and how their lives went.
and then how they decided to proceed after.
Yes, like how their lives went and how they chose to raise you.
Yeah, because the thing about it is, if I had to describe it at all, is being black happened to me. It happened to me, and then I never was taught how to, one, think critically about that.
Please.
Or just, like soak that in. It was just, this is my life. And then as I kept going, people were like, black people problems.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, I have to think harder about, like, this country life I lived.
Yeah.
And then also being an army brat and blah, blah, blah,
A lot of the times, like, we don't think about the complexity of our blackness.
Yeah.
Like, we don't, like, and that's just coming from, and that probably just comes from our public school. Like, our public school education and the invalidation that we felt in our culture and how we spoke and just everything, like how our hair is done and like our hair.
I miss my bubbles. But,
Please,
whatever.
our
Okay.
hair, like how we carry ourselves, how we speak, how we dress, how we like navigate relationships with other people, and like the importance that we put into race as well. Because that just like a lot of times people think race is not important, and race is important because it's life or death for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that just like having to think about like the complexities of like navigating relationships. And
One thing that just popped into my head, because I'm a education fanatic.
oh Lord,
As well as just it applies to vernacular. enslaved black people learned English through, okay, you know, everyone should know this. Some black people learn through the occasional, enslaver.
No. Okay.
Enslaver.
We're not there yet.
We're not there. I can't say that. Not on this podcast.
We're in mixed company.
Okay, enslaver. And they would, like, supposedly take them to class. Like, you know, how people, how history puts it, you know, they would go to class and, like, learn with them. Mm-hmm. And, you know, the books that white people had, it was just, like words and the alphabet. You know, you get hand-me-downs. And then, like, they had to teach themselves.
Mm-hmm. That also comes from...
You could die if you were caught.
And, like, that's why, like, that just also, like, contributes to how we speak today.
Mm-hmm. Not to mention, we also, during that time of teaching yourselves, were forced to pick up the Bible. And then they used the Bible in order to learn how to read as well. I don't know if y'all read the Bible before, but some of that English is...
But okay, but it depends on the version. Like, the version of the Bible.
Baby girl. Let's think about what time it was. And
I know. I know. I'm just saying that, but like, it depends. Like, obviously, like, it's not all the same depending on the version. Like,
okay. Because I was just like,
no. I mean, either way,
the English was broken in there.
Oh yeah, it was most definitely, and also then, like trying to teach yourself English and in teaching yourself through the Bible, which also plays into like the importance that the Black community puts on Christianity. Anyways.
Yeah. That's another episode.
Yeah.
And then also, not to mention, still, what is it? It's like they're still trying to hang on to their culture while learning as well. And that's what also adds on to the nice inflection or the pronunciation of some words in AAVE, which I love to death. I didn't understand the importance or the coolness of this until, like, I'm not going to say recently, but it feels like recently. Yeah. You know?
Well, I also want to acknowledge the fact that, like, we're saying that, like, this is a dialect. This is, like, the whole, like, this is a language, and this is a dialect, and this is intricate. I would want to point out the fact that this isn't, like, something new that has come about, and this isn't something that, like, it's only particular to us. So there is an entire diaspora.
Of big word.
Yes. Like, of just, like, African, like, descendants in other areas who have different dialects, like, of how they speak. And also in AAVE, there are also different versions of that and, like, different areas in which they, like, speak. Like, we're talking, if I met a Black person from Louisiana, I do not know what you're saying.
Not a word of it.
Not a word. Like, if I, first of all, somebody from Charlotte, I'm like, what are you saying to me? Who?
I actually just went there, and I don't think that I saw a single Black person.
Have you ever heard the baby speak before? No. Exactly. You should try. It takes me about 5 times when that video came out, and they were like, ooh, cancel him. And I was like, what did he say?
Can someone please transcribe?
And I'm from North Carolina. What do you mean? But, like, there are also, like, we're talking about, like, people in Jamaica and, like, people in Haiti. That's the one that
I know more about. Because, like, my dad's family knows a little bit of people like that, or, like, you know, New York. I feel like where there's a lot of, where the area where I visited or where, like, we, like, kind of grew up around it had a lot of, like, Jamaican.
That's also, like, a lot of people don't understand that.
They have once again, you know, with language, I feel like, again, there's a good piece of culture wrapped in that. The way you interact with people is completely different. Like, it's similar because, you know, Black people, but at the same time, I feel like Jamaican people, like Jamaican women specifically.
What you about to say?
I feel like they
What do you about to say?
I don't know. I just like the way they speak, and it's I can obviously tell that it's like a different way of speech that a lot of Black women that I've been around talk. Yeah. Because, you know, we're very country Philly where I am, but like a nice Jamaican woman, I'm never mad about hearing them speak. It's so beautiful to me, and I just want to understand their references, and I just want to know what they're saying. And that's just me being a culture junkie. Like, I grew up, like, obsessed with Japan. Like, we're not gonna talk about
that.
Oh, no. No, because I'm gonna out myself. I watch anime, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, I watch anime too, but I don't know why I'm talking like I didn't live in Japan.
Facts. You used to be somewhat fluent.
Okay, no, I was not fluent.
But you was talking.
I was at the age where I knew, because they taught us Spanish and Japanese in preschool.
What?
Yes.
That's cool.
Yes, and I knew basic words, and I was at that point where if I kept on going, I could have been fluent now.
I love that for you.
But my parents don't love me. Y'all did me dirty. Y'all did me dirty.
Okay.
Exactly.
Not just sending a message out to them on the podcast.
I am. Because you know what? I'm telling this straight to my dad. You did me dirty. Period.
I'm crying. And I was just saying, like, it's crazy how, like, I'll be, like, a culture junkie, and it's just like, wow, the speech is very expressive. The clothing's really cool. But then, I'm not going to lie, I didn't grow up with that same enthusiasm for my own culture. Mm-hmm. And I'm slowly starting to, like, grow into that now. Mm-hmm. And I think it's so cool. It's just like, wow, black women used to be like warriors, and I think some of them still are. I'm not gonna lie, I need to do research.
Me too.
So I'm not gonna speak I'm trying not to speak as ignorant as some people would, but
Ciao.
That's another story.
Please.
But yeah,
all I'm gonna say, you know what? Do you have anything else you want to say?
No, I'm good.
I feel like here's what I'm gonna close out.
Yeah.
Here's how I'm gonna close out, because I know I probably didn't get all my points across.
Neither did I. Like, but I feel like we briefly covered, so we're good.
So yeah, I feel like my whole thing about white people using AAVE is you don't know the cultural significance of what it is. You need to pay attention to how you're, like, what you're consuming, like the media that you're consuming and where it comes from. Mm-hmm. That's irresponsible. Coming from the mass comm major.
Yeah.
First. And you have to think about when you say these words like bet and cap and finna and bus and all that stuff, like,
is
the bussin'.
Okay, there we go. Cause
this bussin'.
Okay.
So, like, so when you use these words, think about, am I utilizing my privilege first? And I also want to leave you with this. My father, to point out, this man does not try to speak Spanish because he does not want to disrespect the language. He doesn't want to disrespect somebody else's language. So why do you think it's okay for you to try to speak AAVE?
That's valid.
That's it.
Yeah, I think you put it very well, because I think that's another reason why I don't, like, try to speak Spanish out loud, because, like,
it's very common. It's like it's a common thing to, like, a lot, and I know, like, a lot of people, I don't know if, like, anybody else, but, like, when you're trying to learn, like, a foreign language, mm-hmm. and I just also, like, a whole other thing with people that doesn't, like, speak not English, like, the people that don't speak English, mm-hmm. and, like, trying to hear white people speak it, and it's a whole thing about that. Mm-hmm. But, because, like, why do you think you could touch it? Anyways, but there's, like, a level of respect that you have to have for languages that aren't close to your culture and, like, mm-hmm. aren't a part of who you are. And when you try to speak that language and you say it wrong, you're disrespecting that culture.
Yes.
And and this is, like, coming from, like, you go somewhere and you're trying to speak this language. Like, if you're trying to learn something, that's fine. Like, if you're trying to learn it, and even then, it's also a whole thing. And I think, me, when I am trying to learn Spanish, and so, like, I feel terrible, like, messing it up.
Yeah.
So, like, why don't you feel bad for messing up AAVE? Because it's not your culture.
Wow. That has me, like, thinking about a lot of stuff right now, but mm-hmm. head empty at the same time.
Not head empty.
Smooth brain.
Smooth marble.
Don't
marble.
Say marble.
What? Just, you know?
But yeah, I agree with what you said. I call myself wanting to be a polyglot, but like I don't want to be like full fluent in a lot of languages. I just want to be able to talk about the things that I like.
Bruh.
Because like because you can't learn the grammar entirely. Like I feel like there's no way you can learn every language on the planet and then properly learn the grammar. I'm sure that a lot of people you meet who were born speaking a language might not know the grammar entirely. I've met people who are like, let me look it up.
Please.
Which I understand it's fine, but like still proceed with a mind of respect and be responsible with the information you learn and just like how you use it. I mean, yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. If you see like a funny new joke, you might want to like look into where that came from
before you say it. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Oh Lord.
Cause there was that one word, don't remember what it is. Oh, I do. It starts with a B. I would say it, and you and Azani were like, maybe you shouldn't say that. So you over here using AAVE, you might say it around the wrong person and get your chin.
Oh yeah.
knocked off.
Also, no, literally, I'm letting you know right now. This is a warning to white people who use AAVE. You do, and this is like on the off chance that you're somewhere where like black people are. Mm-hmm. You need to be cautious of how you use it and when you use it, because a lot of people
don't take too kindly.
Yes, to you appropriating how they say things. There are a lot of intricacies in black culture. Yeah. You're gonna mess around.
You're gonna
say some
step
stuff
over a boundary,
and now look at you. Now you're in danger. So, and that's not like that's like, this is like real life. This is real life. Real life. Like us black people also have to be cautious about how we speak. Okay?
It's crazy.
In different areas, okay? So, just to let you know, it's not cute to be out here saying stuff and you know the meaning of it or where it came from. That's also along with, and I just want to point this out real quick, stop thinking gang signs are cute.
They're not cute. You're gonna get your chin shot off.
That's also coupled with how you speak. Watch how you speak to people. And also, it's not cute.
Yeah, don't signals count as a type of language.
Like, watch.
Don't do all the gay. Why?
Well, it's not, because like to you it might seem fun, but it's not. It's not cute. It's not quirky.
If I see another person spell out blood with their fingers, I'm gonna lose it.
Yeah, like it's not cute. People die behind that stuff literally all the time, and y'all think that is funny. It's not funny. And this is coming from black people.
Black people who proceed cautiously.
Yes.
as should you.
Yes. So, yes, be careful out here. Please. Just to let you know, this is not a game. It's not a game.
I'm sorry. It's the privilege for me.
Please.
It is. Cause
no,
like,
I remember being in high school and being like, y'all need to stop. That's not funny. Like, I grew up and it was like, you do not touch that. Like, you if you are not part, like, if you are not about that lifestyle, if you are not in that lifestyle, if you do not have to be in that lifestyle, do not be in it, first of all. And second, do not try to take something from that culture and like those people.
Yeah, especially if it's
because like it's unsafe
in pop culture again, because you know music, people always talking about like gang stuff and blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, but
also rap is not glorifying. It's not.
It's not glorifying. I think when I listen to it, this dude's good. He killed and he'll kill again. Gosh darn it!
No,
I don't think you understand.
Like
he's not.
My thing is that like and this is like literally y'all let Taylor Swift sing about all her little ex-boyfriends and all that type of stuff, okay? And that's her life. That's what she went through. Like, just people being like rap glorifies violence. It doesn't. That's what people who rap have been through.
Yes.
They're rapping about their experience. They're writing about their experience.
And then again, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know if there's any truth to this, so I probably shouldn't speak about it too deeply. But
what are you about to say?
Well, now that you said, what are you about to say? My brain said, yeet it out the window. We're not thinking about it anymore. So now it's gone. So thanks.
Thank you. I would like to say that I said that because Asia be like,
I don't have a filter. I'm sorry.
Let me just say something bad.
No.
And I'd be like, Asia, that's not okay.
It was gonna be reasonable.
What was it gonna be?
Well, I'm marble now. So
marble brain, just
marble
smooth
brain
all the way.
is gone.
Just Squidward. Just
I
out here, just
can't
polished,
stand you.
You know? Okay.
All right, you guys.
Anyways,
that was page 2.
Yeah, we can get into like rap and hip hop and that whole thing about people not liking it at a different time.
I have it now.
What is it?
I feel
No, what do you want to say?
that there's a strong possibility that the reason why you are getting the rap that you're getting at the moment is simply because the white mainstream is only allowing that part of it to be heard. I feel like there's plenty of rappers that I've heard who don't always talk about how they lost a friend to gang violence.
Yes.
And it's been good. So maybe you should rethink reevaluate yourself if all you can think about is listening to this guy screaming, rapping about his pain. And like I need you to want better for us.
We gotta talk about white rappers.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay. That might be the next episode. Tune in, because I feel like we just have too much to talk about. We have too much to talk about music, so we just
too much to talk about
another time.
Not a large enough following.
Please.
No,
so that's next episode. Y'all be easy. Be careful out here.
Yeah. Don't like you don't know nobody. Bye.
Bye. All right, y'all. Thank you for listening to page 2 of Diary of a Mad Black Scholar. Sorry we got a little sidetracked towards the end there. Hopefully you understood our point. Shout out to Evo for the music, and y'all be easy.
Never understand why they do it. Someone cut the channel off the news before I lose it. I ain't even tripping, if you with it, then we lose. Help me put this Louis in the back of Suzuki. Oh, he had to break it down so smoothly. They gon' say it's not about race, but we moving. Oh, God, cut the trade pound. Had to put it in my name, wish a nigga play now. Any given day, I be headed to the pulpit. Say a little prayer, matter of fact, I need 2 of them. Ooh, won't he do it? Won't he do it? Ooh, won't he do it? Won't he do it? Any given day, I be headed to the pulpit. Say a little prayer, matter of fact, I need 2 of them. Ooh, won't he do it? Won't he do it? Ooh, won't he do it? Won't he do it? Any given day, I be headed to the pulpit. Say a little prayer, matter of fact, I need 2 of them. Ooh.